Hey y'all, good morning from Saving Grace Homestead. Last night I did a video where I showed you our broody hen, our first broody hen of the season. And I got to thinking that most people today are so far removed from their food sources and from farm life that you may not know some of the basics of how chickens work and how eggs work. To be honest, I know all we know right now is egg prices are really high, right? But I've had a lot of questions from people around me that kind of took me off guard, and I realized, oh yeah, most people probably don't know these things just because we're so far removed from the life that people used to live as normal, closer to their food sources. So I just thought we would just have a little chicken education moment. This is Smokey. If you've not seen Smokey, if you've not been around a while, you may not have seen Smokey. She was our first, thanks Smokey. She was our first animal on the homestead, and she adopted us. She has been such a sweet baby, huh? Yeah, you've been a sweet girl. And you keep the mice away, so you're a big help. Anyway, so I talked yesterday about chickens going broody, hens going broody, and how that is how we get our chicks. And so let's back it up just a little bit. If you are buying eggs in the store, most likely those eggs are not going to be fertilized, because any company that's producing eggs for sale, they don't want roosters. They just want hens who are going to lay eggs. And if you just have hens, you're going to get eggs that will never become a chick. Okay. Smokey, what is it with you and the chickens conspiring to just take over the whole screen? What is the deal? Okay. Everybody wants to be a star. Anyway, so hens will produce an egg regardless of whether or not there is a rooster, just like females produce an egg every month, right? And if it's not fertilized and it doesn't become a baby, it just comes out. We never see ours because it's like microscopic, but hens work the same. We just see theirs and eat theirs. So hens will produce an egg no matter what. They will produce an egg almost daily. It just depends on the breed of chicken. Some produce more throughout the year than others. And so if you're looking into getting chickens for eggs, you want to kind of look at each breed and how many eggs per year they will lay. So they produce one every, day or so. If you have a rooster, that's the male chicken, then your eggs will most likely be fertilized. If they're fertilized, you don't need to freak out. Oh my goodness, I'm eating a chicken. Yes, it is fertilized, but it's not going to grow, unlike with mammals, right? If our eggs get fertilized, they're growing. Dogs, cats, all those things, if they get fertilized, they're going to continue to grow and to full term unless something happens. With chickens, that fertilized egg is just going to sit there and stay an egg unless the conditions are right for growth. And so it has to be the right temperature. That egg has to maintain a warm temperature and a certain humidity in order to develop into a chick. And it takes about 21 days from fertilization to hatching for that to become a full-grown, ready-to-live chick, ready to live on the outside of the egg. So all the eggs that we get through winter are never going to become chicks. They just aren't, because nobody is sitting. They instinctually know that the weather conditions are not right for them to try to sit on any eggs and hatch out any chicks. But once spring hits, so this time of year, weather's getting a little warmer, any chickens that are prone to going broody are like, I think it's time. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling that motherly urge. And they will sit on eggs, and they will sit for the whole 21 days, as long as they're a good little hen. And once those chicks hatch out, those mamas will continue to shelter them and protect them, show them how to eat. It's very, very cute. They'll stay with them a little while, and then they will leave them on their own as they continue to get bigger and closer to full-grown chickens. Once a hen sits and she decides she is feeling broody, her body will stop laying eggs. She is in full mom mode. All of her energy is going to sitting. And so we will not get any more eggs from that hen until her body kicks back into that egg producing cycle. And that usually takes, you know, a month, 2 months. It takes a little while after she's done mothering for her body to kind of kick back into that egg laying cycle. It's not super fast. It'll take her a little while. So once a hen goes broody, she is out of commission for a few months, realistically, in terms of producing eggs. So a lot of people don't want their hens to go broody. And your hen may go broody even if there's no rooster around. She doesn't correlate, hey, my eggs aren't fertilized. She doesn't care. She just knows, ooh, I'm feeling motherly. So some people will just continue to take those eggs away from her, and eventually she'll snap out of it. But we like to let our hens do their thing, hatch out chicks, and grow our flock that way. Now, our flock is kind of at the capacity we want it to be. So this year we'll be probably selling some of those chicks, but we're going to continue to let them do their natural thing that God has designed them to do. When a hen decides to sit on eggs, I think I told you that we would mark those eggs with an X, and here's kind of what that looks like. Now, the reason that we do this is because other hens instinctually will try to lay their eggs in an already existing nest. Why do they do that? Because that is how they keep the species going. If they don't go broody, they still want their egg to have a chance to grow into a chick. And so, Sarge is trying to encroach on me here. He's like, oh, you're sitting? I'm gonna push myself into your space. So, if that hen who is broody gets up off of her nest to go eat, take a sip of water, other hens will go and lay their egg in her nest. Now, we don't want a whole mixture of eggs in that nest, because once that 21-day time clock starts on the egg she's sitting on, her time clock kind of starts. She's not going to sit there for much over 21 days. And so if any eggs come into that nest later than that, they're going to develop until she stops sitting on them. And so then we're going to have these chicks that are partially developed, and she's going to stop sitting on them at a certain point when her others start to hatch out. And then that is just cruel. Now you have a chick that's going to die inside that egg because it didn't have the full time to develop. We don't want that. So we make sure that we continue to collect the eggs that do not belong in that nest. And the only way we're going to know which ones don't belong in that nest is the ones that end up in there and do not have an X on them. They gotta go. They're not going to stay in that nest for her to sit on. So we collect those every single day so they don't have a chance to start developing when they don't have a chance to finish developing. What is interesting to think about is because that hen will stop producing eggs, by the time we realize, oh, she's broody, she's wanting to sit on some eggs, none of the eggs in that nest are actually going to be biologically hers because she stopped laying eggs. So all those eggs underneath her actually belong to some other hen in the flock, which is really interesting because when you think about it, all those chicks are adopted. None of them are hers, but she doesn't care. She will protect those babies. And another neat thing is she will sit and make little clucking noises as she's sitting on those eggs, and those chicks will learn her voice even as they are inside of that egg. Just like our babies learn our voice inside the womb, those chicks will recognize her voice when they hatch. And so I've had 2 birdie mamas together who have hatched out different groups, and the chicks tend to know which one is their mama. And so it's very cool. It's very neat how that works. And also, as a bonus little fun fact, when your chickens lay eggs, they will, you probably hear one in the coop behind me, they will give what's called an egg song. It's not really a song. Each hen's is different, so if you pay really close attention, you can tell which hen laid her egg. But when they lay their eggs, they tend to make an announcement to everybody that they have laid an egg. They're very proud, and they're letting the rooster know that they are ready to go again. So it's kind of funny. Some of them are a lot more obnoxiously proud of their accomplishment than others. Some are far more quiet about it, but each hen will have her own little pattern of clucks and squawks. So you can hear the different sounds. Somebody has laid an egg. They're very proud of it, and they have to let us all know. But if there was anything I didn't cover, if there's something that you have wondered, or maybe you're wondering something now that I've given this information, let me know in the comments if you have any questions or anything that you're curious about, and I'll try to do a follow-up where I answer those questions. But I just thought there's probably a lot of stuff that y'all don't know if you're just buying your eggs in the grocery store. How much goes into raising chickens, and when they're fertile, when they're not, how they become chicks. Are they going to grow into chicks? Are you going to have to worry about cracking? If you buy eggs from a local farmer, are you going to end up with a chick in your pan? Hopefully not. But no, just because they're fertilized doesn't mean that they're going to turn into a chick. You have to have a broody mama. So anyway, thought I'd just share that fun little tidbit with you and give you that educational moment from the homestead. So hope you have a beautiful day, and that you are as proud of some accomplishment today as our hens are of the fact that they laid an egg. So have a great day, y'all.